As you begin to settle into this moment, you might start to notice how easily you can allow your thoughts to drift and to flow, like clouds floating gently across the vast, clear sky. And as you breathe in, you can begin to realize that happiness is more than a fleeting emotion. It's a way of being, a state of mind, that you can learn to tap into at any moment, anytime, anywhere, without even needing to try so hard. Isn't that interesting? Now, I wonder if happiness were like a gentle current flowing through you. What would it feel like to simply allow that flow to increase naturally, almost effortlessly, as though you've always known how to do this, even now? You might begin to sense how, within you, there's a belief, a feeling, a sense that happiness is not something you need to chase, but something you can attract, like a magnet, drawing more of it into your life with each breath that you take, with each moment that passes. And as you listen to my words, maybe just allow your mind to open, expanding, allowing new beliefs to settle in, creating new possibilities. Just imagine for a moment that you're already someone who feels happiness easily. In fact, isn't it possible that happiness has always been with you, right here, right now, in small moments, in big moments, and in everything in between? And it's fascinating how, sometimes, when you think about happiness, it feels like a choice, a decision that you can make, without even thinking about it, just like breathing. Because what if you realized that happiness isn't a destination, but a journey, a process that flows naturally from the way you see the world, the way you choose to perceive each moment? What if, in your deep unconscious mind, you already have access to powerful, resourceful beliefs, beliefs that you deserve to be happy, that you are happy, and that you can choose happiness at any time? And what if, just by focusing on that thought, on that deep inner knowing, you begin to feel the shift within you, right here, right now? You see, there are moments, subtle moments, when your thoughts and feelings align perfectly, and you simply allow yourself to be happy. You don't need to force it. You don't need to make it happen, because you've already decided deep down that you're worthy of happiness. You've decided unconsciously that happiness is yours to experience, yours to enjoy. And it's interesting how easy it becomes when you start to notice those small things, those tiny little details, like the way the light shines through the window, or the sound of a distant bird singing, or the feeling of the air on your skin. Little things like fragments of happiness scattered all around you, just waiting to be noticed. And as you notice them, you can almost feel how it becomes easier and easier to let go of any old beliefs that happiness is hard to find, that it's something distant, something far away, because you see, you're right here. Happiness is right here, and it's easy. And with each breath, you may begin to feel how your mind becomes more flexible, more open, to seeing happiness everywhere, even in the most unexpected places. In fact, it becomes clear that happiness is not just a feeling, but a skill that you can practice, develop, and master. And as you begin to recognize the patterns of happiness in your life, you might realize that, just like any skill, it becomes easier with time. It becomes more natural. It becomes who you are. It's almost as if you can tap into that deep inner knowing that happiness is a natural part of your being, always available, just like the air you breathe, always there for you, ready to be experienced. And as you do this, you may notice how quickly the old beliefs begin to fade away. The ones that told you that happiness was hard, that happiness was elusive, that it was something you had to strive for, they simply melt away, like ice turning into water, flowing away, leaving space for something new. What if you realized happiness is like a language that your mind already speaks fluently, and that you can easily understand and respond to? What if you found that each thought, each action, each choice that you make could speak this language, communicating to your unconscious mind that happiness is here, happiness is you, happiness is now? And it might occur to you, as you listen, that happiness is already in your life, in subtle ways, in unnoticed ways. It could be a smile from a stranger, the warmth of the sun on your face, the satisfaction of completing a task. And just by noticing, by appreciating, by acknowledging those moments, you begin to reinforce a new belief. Happiness is here. Happiness is within me. What if you could experience happiness at a deeper level? Not just as a fleeting moment, but as an ongoing flow, an undercurrent, always there to tap into. And what if the more you experience this, the more easily you create these happy moments, these little pockets of joy, simply by being present, simply by being aware? It's amazing, really, how this shift in perception, it can change everything. And as you start to reframe your beliefs about happiness, you realize it's not about waiting for the right moment. It's about creating that moment right here, right now. And just as a garden needs water to grow, your happiness grows with every thought, every belief, every action that aligns with it. And as your mind effortlessly begins to weave these new patterns, new beliefs, you might begin to realize your unconscious mind is already finding ways to bring more joy, more peace, more contentment into your life. Every day, in subtle ways, your happiness expands until it becomes something you simply are. So as you continue to breathe, as you continue to relax, notice how it feels to align with the deep, powerful part of you, the part that knows happiness is within reach, that knows you can choose it, embrace it, and live it. Because you see, it's already happening. It's already begun. And as you let these new beliefs settle in, like seeds being planted in fertile soil, you begin to feel how this shift, this change, it'll continue to unfold in ways that surprise and delight you. And you may find, as you open your eyes to the world around you, that the world is already filled with signs, with symbols, with experiences that remind you that you're happy, that you always have been, and you always will be. It's already true. It's already happening. So now take a moment and just notice how this truth feels deep within you. And in your own time, when you're ready, allow this truth to be your new reality, effortlessly, naturally, and forever. So as you continue to relax, feeling more at ease with every breath that you take, you might notice how easily your unconscious mind begins to accept the idea that happiness is simply who you are. Not something to strive for, not something you have to search for, but something that's already inside you. It's as though happiness is the air you breathe, always available, always present, ready to be embraced at any moment, with no effort at all. Now, let's pause for a moment and notice what it feels like to give yourself permission to experience happiness without any hesitation. You might not even have to think about it, because happiness can be so natural for you. It could be like a gentle current flowing through you, a warm, soothing wave that feels perfectly right, as though it's been there all along, waiting for you to allow it. Isn't that interesting, how happiness can be effortless, so easy, simply by choosing to relax into it? And perhaps you can even begin to sense, without any effort at all, that your mind is beginning to release any old doubts, any old thoughts that might have told you that happiness was something rare, something hard to find. You see, your unconscious mind, it understands now. Happiness is not something you have to earn. It's not something that can be given to you or taken away from you. It's already yours. It's as natural as the breath that you just took. And the more you relax, the more you can feel how these new, powerful beliefs, they're taking root within you, effortlessly. As you breathe in, just notice how it feels to simply accept happiness, knowing it's already here. And you've only needed to allow yourself to experience it. And you might begin to realize that by thinking about it in this way, happiness becomes easier to access. It's almost as if your mind, in its infinite wisdom, has been waiting for you to remember this truth, that happiness is a state of being, something that exists within you, and always will. And by remembering, you begin to feel more connected to that deep, endless well of joy within you. Notice, too, how it feels to embrace this idea that your happiness It doesn't have to depend on external circumstances. It's easy to recognize that true happiness is something you can choose, something you can create from within. And the moment you choose it, it begins to expand and grow in ways that surprise and delight you. It's as if you're discovering a new unlimited resource, an abundance of joy and contentment that's always there, just waiting for you to tap into it. And as you continue to relax, you might begin to notice how your unconscious mind has already started to release any old patterns, the ones that told you that happiness had to come from certain situations or achievements. You know now that happiness, it isn't tied to those things. It's something much deeper, something much more powerful, something you can access at any moment, with a thought, with a feeling, with a simple shift in your perception. And as you consider that, imagine for a moment, every time you exhale, you're releasing any old beliefs about what happiness is supposed to look like, and when you're supposed to feel it. And with every breath in, you're accepting new empowering beliefs that happiness is already yours, that it's available to you at any moment, without struggle, without any limitation. Can you feel that? Just letting go of anything that doesn't serve you and choosing happiness over and over again, a skill you're becoming an expert in. In fact, you might begin to notice that every time you focus on happiness, it becomes easier and easier to amplify it. With every thought you think, with the decisions that you make, you realize happiness is something you can simply choose to intensify. It's as if with every thought, you're turning up the volume of your own joy, and it starts to echo through your mind, your body, your life, in ways that bring more and more of that wonderful feeling into every part of your experience. It's natural, it's easy, it's who you are. And with each new moment, your unconscious mind is absorbing these beliefs, these truths at a deeper level. Beliefs like, happiness is a part of me. I can always choose happiness. Happiness comes naturally to me. And even deeper than that, you might sense the truth that I am happiness. Just imagine for a moment what it would feel like to be so aligned with happiness that it becomes your default setting, the natural state you return to, even in the face of challenges, obstacles, or difficult situations. Because of course, you know now that happiness is not dependent on your own circumstances. It's simply a decision you make. And the more often you make it, the more natural it becomes, until it's just your way of being. Isn't it fascinating how your unconscious mind is already becoming more and more skilled at recognizing happiness in every situation, in every experience, in every moment of your day? And as you begin to notice these moments, it becomes easier to see just how often happiness is already there, waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to be felt, ready to expand with every thought you think, every feeling you embrace. And as your unconscious mind continues to learn, it begins to shift the way that you respond to the world around you. You might find even the smallest things, like the warmth of the sun, the sound of laughter, the feeling of accomplishment, begins to feel more meaningful, more profound, as though they're each a little spark of happiness, just waiting to light up your day. And the more you notice these moments, the more your belief in happiness grows stronger, more automatic, more unstoppable. And it becomes clearer and clearer that happiness is not something you need to wait for or wish for. It's something you already have access to, something you can unlock at any moment, in any place. And that feeling of being truly happy, deeply happy, begins to expand beyond what you thought was possible, until it becomes a state of being that's so natural, so effortless, you might wonder why you ever thought otherwise. Your unconscious mind now knows that happiness is not a rarity, but an ongoing experience that's yours to have, anytime, anywhere. And in every way, you know deep down that happiness is your birthright. And every day, in every way, you continue to choose it. And as these new beliefs continue to settle in, as they take root deeply within your unconscious mind, you can begin to feel how the world around you shifts, how it begins to reflect the truth that happiness is yours to experience at all times. And the more you embody this new reality, the more you experience the truth that you are happiness. And as you embody this, you may notice you're more present, more peaceful, more joyful than you ever thought was possible. And each time you think about it, each time you remember it, happiness grows deeper and deeper, expanding naturally within you, becoming a permanent part of who you are. And of course, every time you embrace this truth, it becomes easier to live with it, easier to be happy, naturally, effortlessly, always. And as you relax even more deeply, you may begin to notice, without even trying, how your mind effortlessly accepts the simple truth that happiness is your natural state. You don't need to search for it. You don't need to chase it. It's not distant or hard to find. It's right there, right now, always present within you. Can you feel it? That subtle shift, that gentle recognition that happiness is not something you need to earn, but something you're always meant to experience effortlessly, easily, continuously. And perhaps now you can begin to feel how this belief is growing stronger and stronger within you, like the roots of a tree spreading deeper into the soil, anchoring you firmly in the knowing that happiness is your birthright, a deep, unshakable truth that you can return to at any time, anywhere, effortlessly. In fact, it's almost as if happiness has always been a part of you, waiting patiently for you to remember it, waiting for you to choose it. And now that you have chosen it, now that you've recognized it, you may notice how it begins to expand with each passing moment, becoming more and more natural, more and more automatic. And notice how your mind, so skilled at creating patterns, begins to automatically create new empowered patterns of happiness. You don't even have to think about it, do you? It just happens. Your unconscious mind, so attuned to your needs, understands now that happiness flows easily, effortlessly, continuously. You may even notice, as you breathe deeply, that your breath fills you with more and more of that feeling, the feeling of peace, of joy, of contentment. It's as if your body, mind and spirit are in perfect harmony, naturally aligned with this powerful positive force. It's interesting how, when you truly allow happiness to be, you realize you don't need to force it. You don't need to push it into existence. Happiness is not something that can be made happen. It's something that can only be allowed to grow, to unfold, to emerge, like a beautiful flower blooming on its own. Just imagine for a moment how you can allow this process to happen naturally, easily, as though it's always been there, waiting for you to release any resistance, any doubt, and simply let it be. And as you let go, you may notice how easily your mind begins to drop old limiting beliefs. Beliefs like, I have to work hard for happiness, or happiness comes only after I achieve something. They fade away now, almost as if they were never even real, and in their place new empowering beliefs settle in, gently but powerfully. Happiness is within me. It's already here. It's my choice. It's my way of being. And with each breath that you take, you can begin to feel how your unconscious mind is now rewriting itself. You no longer need to think about it. It's as though your mind is programmed to find happiness wherever you go. And isn't it fascinating that happiness, it doesn't require conditions to be met? No need to wait for things to be perfect. You see now, happiness is a state of mind, and that state is always available to you. You can choose it at any time, in any situation, and it becomes easier every time you do. In fact, it may occur to you on a deeper level that happiness is like a muscle, one that gets stronger and more powerful the more you use it, the more you focus on the little things that bring you joy. The more joy grows in your life, it becomes effortless, and the more you practice, the more natural it feels. Your unconscious mind is so skilled at creating new neural pathways that lead directly to happiness, that each time you choose happiness, you simply reinforce these pathways, strengthening them, making them more and more automatic. Isn't it wonderful to think that happiness is becoming easier with every thought, with every decision? And notice how it feels to know on a deep level that happiness is always accessible, and it's not dependent on anyone or anything. It's yours right now, and as you sit with this feeling, you may begin to realize that happiness Not a destination or a goal, it's a process. A flow that's always happening, always present, always within you. What if it were true that every day you're simply remembering how to be more and more happy? And with each reminder, the happiness grows even more effortlessly. And as you continue to relax, there's a part of you deep within that knows this truth. Happiness is a state of mind. It's not something you need to look for. It's not something you have to wait for. It's here and now. It's with you now. It's part of you. And it becomes easier to see, doesn't it? It becomes easier to notice those little sparks of happiness all around you. The warmth of a smile, the satisfaction of a job well done, the quiet joy in a simple moment. Every time you pause and recognize these sparks, you're reinforcing this new belief, this new way of seeing the world. And it's as if every time you notice, your mind automatically increases the flow of happiness within you, making it even easier to recognize, even easier to feel, until it becomes a constant presence in your life, guiding you effortlessly through your days. And as you let your unconscious mind accept these truths at a deeper level, you might start to wonder, what if happiness were already a part of everything you do? What if the more you experience it, the more it becomes a natural part of who you are, a way of being, not just something you feel at times, but something that radiates from you, something you exude, something that touches everyone you encounter. You can feel it now, can't you? How that belief, the belief that I am happiness, begins to settle deep into your core. How this truth resonates with you at every level, creating a sense of certainty of knowing. It's a deep knowing that this is who you are, that happiness is not just an occasional feeling, but a continuous flow, always available, always yours. And as you continue to relax, allowing these powerful, life-changing beliefs to take root in your unconscious mind, you can begin to feel how they expand and grow. Every time you focus on this truth, it becomes stronger, more automatic, more natural. Your mind becomes so skilled at finding happiness, it seems to appear everywhere, in every situation, in every thought, with every breath. And each time you experience this happiness, you reinforce the belief that happiness is always available to you. And the more it grows, the easier it becomes. Isn't it fascinating how quickly this process is happening? And the more you realize that happiness is your natural state, the more it expands within you. You're creating happiness moment by moment, effortlessly, and every day, in every way. You become more and more aligned with this truth. You are happiness. You always have been, and you always will be. So just imagine for a moment how different your life feels now, knowing this. How different it feels to embody this truth. I am happiness. And how your world has begun to reflect the truth back to you in the most unexpected, delightful ways. And the best part, you don't need to do anything for it to happen. It's already happening. It's already true. And the more you acknowledge it, the more this new, powerful belief becomes an unstoppable force, guiding you effortlessly into a life filled with joy, peace, and unlimited happiness. Now just sit with that truth for a moment. You are happiness. And with each breath, with each passing moment, it becomes even more real. And it's already happening, just as it was always meant to.